Hi everyone, it is Sol 11, or our 11th day here at the Mars Desert Research Station, and that means that for Group 171, me and my 5 crewmates, our time is nearly at an end. It's been a tremendous experience being out here in the desert, seeing what some future Mars astronauts might have to face in terms of problems and challenges, and how they'll be able to come together as a team to overcome all of them. But as we prepare to draw our time here to a close, we think it's important to look to the future and see what does this really mean. We've had a great time for the past fortnight being here, but the bigger picture is much more significant than that. Sometime within all of our lifetimes, we will be sending humans to the Red Planet for real. Not just simulations out in the desert or in the Arctic Circle. People will actually be going to Mars, and it will be one of the most defining elements from a historical and a scientific and a social perspective of the 21st century. It's something we all have to look forward to, and to which many of us will hopefully play a part. We've enjoyed sharing this experience with you while we've been out here, and I have been absolutely delighted to see all the questions you guys have written to us in your letters. Your questions, your concerns, the things you know, the things you don't know. It's been wonderful to read what you've had to write and to get to know all of you a little bit. So we have a couple of last questions which I'd love to answer for all of you. From Edwin Chavez in Mrs. Valdez Foley's 3rd grade class, what kind of rocket will we need to use to get to Mars? That's a great question. NASA is currently working on that very rocket. It's called the Space Launch System, and when it's done, it will be the largest rocket ever produced by humankind. It'll be about 10 to 20 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty, and that's pretty big if you ask me. That rocket will take astronauts to the moon, to interplanetary space, and to Mars. The missions that it will go on haven't been completely defined yet, but the possibilities are tremendously exciting. Another great question came from Peter in Mr. Ferrante's 6th grade class. He asked, what kind of food do you take to Mars? Taking food to Mars is going to be really tough because astronauts are going to have to be cooped up on a spaceship and on their Mars base for a really long time. Hopefully they'll be able to grow some of their food in greenhouses on the surface of planet Mars, as Brittany and Sean talked about in our last video. But while they're on their way there, and even when they're there, they'll have to take some prepared food that will be brought from Earth. Now, since it'll have to sit on a spaceship for months on end, it has to be a special kind of food. You can't just take any old food because it will go bad, like you might be familiar with. So most astronauts will be taking probably a combination of dried and dehydrated food that has been sucked dry of all its water and put in some kind of sealed container, whether it's a can or a bag. And then astronauts can add water back to this food to make it into kind of what it started out as, whether that's strawberries or blueberries or anything. Basically, all the food has to be shelf stable, meaning that it can stay on shelf for a really long time. It makes cooking a little tough, but if you're pretty creative, you can do pretty well with it. While we've been here, we've been eating shelf-stable food. We've been able to make some delicious bread. We've been able to have some wonderful pasta. We have even had some chocolate chip cookies. So we've been doing pretty well for ourselves. Another fantastic question comes from Anshuman, Andrew, and Mariolina in Mrs. Ania's 2nd grade class, who asked, how long will it take to get to Mars? That's kind of a tough question because, as you probably know, Mars and Earth both move. They're orbiting around the sun, which means going in circles around it, and they're in different circles. So, since they go at different speeds, the distance between the 2 planets changes depending on what time of year it is. So here on Earth, we have a year that lasts about 365 days. The year on Mars lasts almost twice as long because it takes longer to go around the sun. So, we can generally expect that a mission to Mars will take about 8 to 9 months. Again, it depends on where the planets are and when we decide to launch people, but it'll be a long-term voyage either way. Our last question comes from Graydon in Mr. Ferrante's 6th grade class. He asked, how will astronauts survive? And that's a good question because Mars is not an easy place to survive. The atmosphere is really, really thin. You can't breathe it because there's almost no oxygen. There isn't a lot of gravity. Gravity is about 1/3 as strong as it is here on Earth. There's a lot of radiation, and it's also really, really cold, about -60 degrees Fahrenheit or -50 degrees Celsius, colder than anywhere we really have here on Earth. So it'll be tough for astronauts to survive, and that's one of the big questions which we'll have to answer as we prepare to send people to the Red Planet. The answer is, for the time being at least, that astronauts will live in special habitats, like the one we have here, which is a simulated Mars habitat. These will be like little houses which are exceptionally well insulated and protected from radiation, so that astronauts can live inside in their own Earth-like atmosphere without having to worry about the Martian atmosphere, the Martian radiation, and they'll be able to live inside these habitats protected from the harsh environment of the red planet. When they go outside, they'll wear spacesuits, which will also protect them. Just like you might have seen pictures of astronauts in space or on the moon, they'll be wearing these big pressure suits which will contain their own Earth atmosphere so that they can breathe and stay alive on the surface of the red planet. There are a lot of challenges which we'll have to solve before we get to Mars, but by the time we do them, that getting to the red planet will be one of the most exciting, dynamic, and all-around thrilling things that humanity has ever done. And the most exciting part of all is that this is only the first step. Mars is our closest neighbor, so once we go there, who knows what comes next? Either way, it's an exciting journey ahead, and we've enjoyed playing even some minuscule part on it, and we hope you've enjoyed being a part of it throughout your letters and these videos. Thanks so much.